excited about all of our sessions, but it is with honor that I'm really excited to be able to introduce our first keynote speaker of the week. Queen Quet is a multi-talented advocate, historian, and cultural preservationist. She is the founder of the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition, an esteemed organization dedicated to safeguarding and promoting Gullah Geechee culture. Notably, Queen Quet has been a prominent voice for her community on international platforms, including speaking at the United Nations in Geneva and contributing to various United Nations conferences on climate change and minority rights. Her remarkable contributions extend to the realms of environmental conservation and activism. As exemplified by her involvement in initiatives such as the Gullah Geechee Sea and Me program, she emphasizes the significance of marine environment preservation. Queen Quet has garnered numerous awards and recognitions, including the prestigious Order of the Palmetto Award from Governor Henry McMaster, an acknowledgement of her outstanding efforts in protecting and perpetuating the rich heritage of the Gullah Geechee people. As the first, I think I need to say that again. As the first Queen Mother and official spokesperson for the Gullah Geechee Nation, Queen Quet continues to be a leading force and advocating for cultural continuity and environmental stewardship. So without further conversation, I am so excited. She is coming to the stage. Let's give a standing ovation for Queen Quet.
Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land, and tell all Pharaoh, for let my people go. Yeah, in that bush harbor, we Yeddi ancestors. This is what let them walk on. We know who we be. We be Gullah Geechee anointed people, and we be free. Boy, that driver, Yeddi me some time. Think they can choke down on the paper, but they ain't we don't crack and take what's said. But then we read this crack and thing, we said, what is your? This is not what I mean. Dog. I'm serious, and then they're not serious. We said, what kind of cracky people is you? I said, hey, we ain't dead no more. See, I don't know if people be dead, but we're not dead. We said, how they get come see we things we don't? We said, we're not dead. Talk. But then that coin, cracky, but how we have for me. We said, no. I'm gonna try this for now. May take we, the evil, Mandinka, Malenke, Yuliba, Gullah, Gizi, Mendi, Temni, Ifi, Ibibio, Bankabula, Joya, Anisha, Ishala, or I get him out now. Jacksonville, North Carolina, Jacksonville, Florida. And they say, now I can keep my calendar. Now you don't, now they just. Because they say, oh, dying the way on half of me. We say, God will be, who we be. And we want to go upon this ship. Because this shall we never see. Die to the ship, into the sea. And I say, and try everything. But try to take away this show. All of we. We know God. God will always win, you see. Gullah, me, people blessed by God. So God be for honor. Who will be against you? Damn what try. Why fall? Oh, and then So we study what this show. We study on some weirds and things like that. And our brothers they be clean and put them across the water. Then the study boat and the driving and party like this show. And shit where the sun went on shine. So the algae ain't quite did it. So everything went down for them, got dead. Then the study what that told. But we knew, because the water bring the water quite take we back. The line we got this shot line. So we try for crack, we do with the buck, and then overstop, we do all tall. So they say, they crack it, and know what it's about. Yeah, but yet and tall, and things like that. So we said, we see this show. So from the Jordan bridge then, start from Queen Crossing. And we ended it, we didn't do things. And we said, oh, that's what the issue is. They need us to talk like they do. So maybe then they'll stop thinking that somehow people of African descent have no ability to do the thing that our ancestors did in the first place, which is create science. Much less maintain it. Much less continue it. Somehow they forgot that Kemet, which you call Egypt today, is actually in the motherland that we call Al-Quran and they call Africa now. Somehow they forgot that those edifices that stand there, those pyramids, the Sphinx, all of these things were created by African minds, the first to put numbers and writing on the wall. But the handwriting is on the wall again now that people need to look at. And now they come to us begging for traditional ecological knowledge somehow. So I find it intriguing that all these years that we've shown and proven that we were part of the land, rid of us, part of the sea, and part of this traditional legacy that they couldn't see. Now, as we say, big as I am standing here, you can't see me. But yet they wrote article after article after article after article and published books quoting those erroneous articles that said that the Gullah Geechees were gone. Or that one from back in around the latter 70s, early 80s, that said Gullah's last dying breath as the headline. And that was their prediction that was erroneous. Because we'd have been there and we ain't going nowhere tall. Period. So therefore, when people come now to the Sea Islands from Jacksonville, North Carolina to Jacksonville, Florida, and they hear people speaking like this, and people ask them, well, where are the Gullah Geechee? They send you somewhere else looking because they're tired of being in somebody's peach tree dish, treated like we're that algae that no longer grows. Every time a new pier or a bridge is put over an area that has been a traditional area for fishing, for harvesting, because the people doing that are not the scientists. They're not the originators of living in and on the water. People seem to forget that as an island, though, I literally live in the ocean. Because they taught you in school. There's only an island if it's surrounded by what? Oh my Lord, marine scientists don't know that the island is surrounded by water. So plenty of people just flunked that class. So as we say, the water to bring me, the water might take me back. So every day we to go into water. Fortunately, we can go out in there where we cast and everything like that and still cast them out and get things for now on. We have for going there like we ancestors for wash the clothes and scrub and things like that. We hand all of that for the family, but we can still adorn ourselves in legacy. That same place, that same space, where they said the cash crops enriching the South, Sea Island cotton, indigo. And that thing we love for now, everybody said, how do you find the Gullah Geechee, a thing like that? Rice. But our rice in particular is called Carolina Gold. And it dried on soil, so you'll say. Because there's that richness in it that you don't find after these people strip it and bleach it and take out the nutrients and then try to tell you on the bag that they put it through a process to enrich it. God had already made it rich, like He did us. That's why in many of those journals that wrote about our ancestors that were kidnapped and brought to North America because of their knowledge and their skills, they said we have a cargo of black gold. Now, I don't know about you, but when I hear about gold, I think richness. I don't think of anything else. And so when I see black gold, I think richness. I don't think of anything else. And it's interesting to me when we talk about doing things scientifically, how do you get gold? And part of it is, again, you got to go to the water because that's where you pan it out and you rinse it and you shake it and then you see something, that nugget that you can hold up. And when the sun hits it, oh, it shines. But many people don't want it in that raw form, because it had to go through too much. Just like, yes, it's the process. Just like a diamond, if I give it to you and tell you go to Tiffany's and go get it, y'all be grabbing that and running to Jacob the jeweler to get it reshaped and put in some kind of other adornment fixture. But I think I'd rather it the way it was, the way God made it, the way God put these things under pressure and heat and changes in the climate, and somehow they sit there, rooted in the earth, rooted in culture, tradition, blood, sweat, tears of the ancestors that end up being a part of that richness that others extract and then want to polish it and reshape it. So we talking about diamonds or we talking about black folks? Because it seems like for generations, no one wanted us the way God made us. Everybody else felt like their culture knew more from these Western societies than the Africans, which were the first societies. And so they said, no, y'all black folk can't be doing that. Y'all can't be around doing that. Oh my God, why would you do that? That's so uncool. That's not the proper way to praise. You are supposed to simply listen to the message. And at the end, just simply say, Amen. I said, that's what you do. That ain't none of what white people do. And look here, if my ancestors and them been a shout and things like that, and make up truly middle class and red was this thing was slavery, red was segregation, red was integration. Oh, I think I gonna do what they do. And I could make it through racism. I could make it through a pandemic. I could make it through every time someone forms a weapon against my people. And instead, reshape it in such a way that when you hear the ancestors say, I got my sword in my hand and I'm ready for war. I got my sword in my hand. I got my sword in my hand and I'm ready for war. I got my sword in my hand. I got my sword in my hand and I'm ready for war. I got my sword in my hand. I got my sword in my hand and I'm ready for war. I got my sword in my hand. This time they don't know that that sword has been inscribed with freedom. Freedom to be exactly who we be. Freedom to live out a scientific legacy, freedom to be those Africans that go forth in the world, whether we call ourselves black folks, whether we call ourselves descendants of the motherland, whether we just go, yeah. This is all of we, this is all of who we be. This is how we stand and honor our ancestors who brought science to the world. It's some time to do it. As many of you know, we have to take a deep dive into some places that are pretty dark. Because when you go down in the deep sea, there might be that shadow over you. So much so that the corals off the coast of the Gullah Geechee Nation don't look like me, they don't look like that. They say way down under the sea on this place called the Blake Plateau, where many of us might not have the chance to ever go. The corals are white. And I said, well, that ain't right. And they said, but it's because, I said, oh, it's so many leagues under the sea. And they said, right. So the algae isn't there because the sunlight isn't hitting them under there. I said, interesting. But somehow, instead of pulling each other down, they started to create this thing now that we call the Million Mile. And as I thought about that, and I thought about being black in marine science, I said, well, what a blessing it would be for us to be a million that mount up to tell our story and to share our legacy wherever in the world we may be. And so I thought about it some more. And I said, well, yeah, what a goal. And then I started to be out there and meet one after the next, lit soul. And I said, well, who you be? And they say, yeah, well, you know, Dr. Moore came and she found me. So I said, so then you part of Bim's family? And I said, yeah. And we would say, Bim's is lit. And so here it is that there's a fire that's been lit for us to be that millions that become the mound that mount up, to be the scientists, to be the inspiration for the next generation. The same way we've never forgotten our ancestors in the Gullah Geechee Nation. As you can see in the center of our national flag, what is that? A tree. Ye shall be a tree planted by the rivers of the water. Ye shall not be moved. But what's different about this tree than the ones that you see outside this building? Who y'all failing this class? What is it? That is mangroves. That's an interesting remark. Is that what you said? It's that ain't mangroves, it is man. Those are humans. Those are human bodies intertwined. The way that you make a true African family tree, the master carver takes one tree, carves out the bodies, they're never disconnected. It's not like here, we make a flow chart, all right? And so those human bodies intertwined are rooted in the soil of the sea islands. The blue is for the water, because water to bring me, the water might take me back, but it's also for the indigo. The green is for the land that we are inextricably tied to and will not be moved from. And the gold is for the sun and the brighter day, but also the Carolina gold, the black gold, the richness that we know who we be, in spite of all that has come to try to remove that part of our story and our legacy. We have never allowed anyone to uproot our tree. So as I decided last night to meditate on my way from leaving one of my favorite places. People like to say, what's your happy place? Mine is Punta Water. And that's whether I am standing at the salt marsh, where we're working on the South Atlantic Salt Marsh Initiative to protect and conserve 1 million acres of salt marsh in the southeast. And I'm breathing it in, breathing out the negativity, breathing in ancestral energy, breathing out the things to try to destroy the black community. Breathing in love, breathing out hate. Or whether I'm aboard the money-earning Mount Vernon, partying with the crew of the Bims family too. Oh, that's my happy place, on the water. So it's like, went back just across the creek for the evening. And I thought, oh, I just, make sure everything's in the suitcase because they gotta hit the road today. Or should I just sit back and absorb all the energy? God said, first write this down. And I opened up and I wrote down, melanated artists reaching into necessary environments. Marine. Again, melanated artists reaching into necessary environments. Black, marine. I said, that's powerful. That's power-filled. But now, do we realize the necessary environments that we go into as scientists? And so as one that has been called a wordsmith, and many of you who've already seen the table that's out there, you see the books. I already have 15 books that are published. There's 15 more coming before I leave this earth that y'all will see. And so, seeing that, you know that I have a love for words. I have a much higher love for numbers. So that's why I was a computer scientist and mathematician and graduated with honors. But I get to use all of that in my happy place on the water, showing people how even a rice field is an engineering feat when a sea island is surrounded by what kind of water? Salt water. But rice is grown in what kind of water? Fresh water. So how is it that the Carolina gold could be grown by the tons and shipped around the world to feed everyone? Because my people were the first of these melanated artists reaching into necessary environments. So I thought about that. I said, black marine science. I said, maybe I need to check on what the acronyms say science even means, though. So I did. And I decided to go to Oxford. So I checked the Oxford dictionary and it said, a noun. Number one, the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation, experimentation, and the testing of theories against the evidence attained. So you see, I had to test that theory about Gullah Geechees was gone, our last dying breath. Isn't the evidence that's been attained show you that that wasn't true? But you think there was ever a retraction of that title or that article? No. So when people try to act like, well, we couldn't find qualified black folk to be in science, I think the evidence in this room refutes that as well, right? By observation. Yes. So we've tested their theory by being Bims, haven't we? Yes, I think so. So, well, number two, I found very curious, because the second definition says knowledge of any kind. But they said that was an archaic definition. I said, well, whoa, hold up, wait a minute. Knowledge of any kind? No wonder these folks are coming to us for traditional ecological what? Knowledge. Because it's not of their kind, the kind that we have in the black community globally. the indigenous communities globally. Because the Western world somehow always thinks if we can't fit it in a box, then it's not valuable. If it hasn't been written down, then it's not valuable. Well, then why you want to talk to me? What's all these meetings about? All this zooming in and out. I used to always tell people that, I love the Jetsons. I love the Flintstones and I love the Jetsons. It took some years before I realized they were basically the same people in different eras of time. And I said, but I'm going to be the first black Jetson. And now there's a whole bunch of us jet setting, doing what we have to do. But when they started zooming, I said, now y'all done took it too far. Because I don't mind the world coming to me sometime, but I still want to get out here and be part of this world. I want to still go to places while we yet still have them above water and be able to see the land on which our people took stands, on which our people were able to create these bases of scientific knowledge, and then people came in and stole their libraries, burned down these places, knocked off some noses, so that nobody in the future would think that they look like you and me, and that they had knowledge of any kind. So I said, well, that's intriguing to me. I said, God, I've been reading since I was 3 years old on your work, or how old I am now, but it's been a while. So I said, you should have never let me read that. So then I looked for the root of it, the word seer, S-E-I-R-E, which meant know. That's all that science came from, is knowing. So at that point, I said, well, then these folks need to know this. They need to know we out here. They need to know we lit. Y'all need to know that we global. And we need to know that Ben's is it. And so, here is a place and a space and a time in which you have the opportunity to gain knowledge of any kind. But in order to do that, what I found, the best way to do it is to come to those places and spaces where people live what the environment is. Like I said to you in the Gullah Geechee Nation, we to the land, we to the water, the land that we, the water to we, and the water to bring me, the water might take me back. And so I find it blessing on blessing on blessing, to find others like me that think like me with both sides of your brain, that you can be artistic enough to wave, to dance, and you can also articulate scientific formulas and theories and do your studies and then come to conclusions that I pray will benefit the black community. I know some of y'all say, why she gotta pray on that? Because some of us ain't for us. Some of us come to these meetings so you can spy and you can take the information back to the other folks and say, this is what they was meeting about. And that's reality. That COINTELPRO progress and process hasn't stopped. Some of us are not necessarily proud to be in this skin we in. So we think somehow if we sell our soul, we'll change. But you won't. The only way you'll change is spiritual death. That's already underway. So the thing about it is recognizing that if you honor God first, all will be a blessing. That all that you do and that's assigned to your hands can be something that even when put under pressure might feel like you're going down, but you ain't down for the count. Just take some breaths. Settle into that space. give God some glory. And reconnect with the souls that of this soil, whose blood, sweat, and tears is there. Look into the ripples of the ocean, into that reflection in the lake, even in a pond after the rain has fallen there. See who you really be, and see if you are not looking back at your ancestors, looking at you, asking you the question, will you have more than we had in your hands? Now what will you do? And then who will you do it for? Will you extract the knowledge and give it to somebody else's community? Or will you keep the knowledge and help your brothers and sisters to be free? The question is always up to you. Whom you will serve, God or mammon. Mammon meaning money. If it's all about the money, they ain't funny. You got to have a con in the land of milk and honey. Please don't step to me. And don't bring that energy into this space of love and harmony and balance and rejuvenation and upliftment of the black family in every global nation. This to me is what I know. This is what I live. This is who we be. When we say we be Gullah Geechee anointed people. We are the amalgamation of those numerous African ethnic groups and the Kusabo, the Amasi, and the Adisto, indigenous people that were on those sea islands. And many continue to attempt to promote our demise. Oh, but every day, just like the tide, we yet rise. And so, I always thank God for days like this, where the sun comes out after the libation fell the night before and cleansed the land. Because when the sun shines, I say, God done smiled on me, and look how beautiful the black gold be. So God bless you, Ben's family, that you are earth, wind, and the fire, because Ben's is lit, and that's legit. Q&A. Don't get too personal, you might get an answer. All right? So they're going to have the mic roving the room. Anybody got some questions? Comments are fine too. Comments are fine. They're always got to be about questioning me. Here's one right in front. Here go my sister who tried to go all up in my wardrobe last night. No. I did. Yeah, you remember about the outfit? Yeah. We strolled to the boat together last night. Yeah. I have a personal question. Oh, here we go. Like I said, you may or may not get an answer, right?
No, funny enough that I already tried to discover things about you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just curious to know, I'm a healer.
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever heard of something called a sangoma.
Spiritual
healer.
Spiritual healer. Mm-hmm.
And I know that.
Where are you from? Your roots from?
I'm from South Africa.
Okay.
From Cape Town.
All right.
And I'm picking up that energy from you.
Mm-hmm.
I love that rendition you did at the beginning.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank
I don't know
you.
what you were saying,
Thank you.
but it was
But you
amazing.
felt it.
Yes, I felt it.
Yes.
I actually shed it here. So my question for you is, are you a healer? because you're very intertwined with the water.
Yes.
And do you do any, outside of science, of course,
Yes.
do you do any healing of actual human beings?
All right, let me ask you. I think y'all in the room answer that one for me. She want to know, am I a healer? Yes. Do I heal any human beings outside the scientific realm? Yes. They know me.
I need your earrings.
See, didn't I tell y'all she was all up in my outfit last night? Now she's trying to rob me of my earrings or something. See why I gotta have my bag up here, y'all? Gotta protect myself. Even in my family, gotta protect myself. Love you. Yes. Anyway, yes, in the back like that. That's one thing. You know sisters got some love when they just run up on you. And I mean, every touch of young morning, oh yes, Queen, I'm loving these earrings. Did you get that? You know, you looking good. This one like you too, but like, y'all, thank you. Can I keep them in? Yes, I will let Red King Donald know that y'all love these. Yes.
Hello, thank you so much for your beautiful presentation. Definitely felt it like emotionally and spiritually as well. Something you said really resonated with me. Made me think when I continue on this academic path, how much information is shared. And so I've started working with indigenous communities local to where I'm going to school now. And in this work of kind of bringing in traditional ecological knowledge and sharing that information, I'm working with communities that are Native American and also trying to bring in this aspect that scientists or general Western scientists are thinking about, which you've obviously shared, is that traditional ecological knowledge, indigenous knowledge is not just in North America, that we've brought communities from across the continent of Africa and brought them here for that ecological knowledge. So trying to bring those two together in this collaboration, and I guess I'm curious what your perspective is of how much information we share, and that there may be some people who are supporting this work, who are participating because they want that they're going to engage in that extractive process. Just how do you protect ourselves, and how do I make sure that I am not
Participating in the extraction.
Exactly.
I got it. So, you have to be ready to push back, as the statement goes. And what I mean by that is, if you are working in actual traditional communities, there's usually a traditional leadership body there. A council of elders, a queen mother, a chief, a chieftess. So these are the people who vet your material first. You don't take it to the university people first. You take it to them. And that community then will say to you, well, you have 10 things that you've amassed. Only 3 of them do we want released to the university. These 7 are ours. And we're keeping this. And we will use this in a way that we see fit, which may only be a community private archive. Like we have the Gullah Gullah archive that had started as my personal library and my personal research, and is now grown to a full-blown archive. There's a book title called They Stole It, But You Must Return It. And just that title alone forced me or caused me to go every city where I spoke and find a library and just look for Gullah Geechee. And first it used to be in the Dewey Decimal System. Now it's like go in and search on their computer, and if they had something, I wanted a copy of it and I would take it back. Because a lot of people wrote about us, but we didn't vet their work. So a lot of the material was erroneous because they were interpreting our culture through their lens. So for instance, I'll give y'all a prime example. I was the first one to start originating tour buses that would come to the Gullah Geechee Nation on the Gullah Root Experience Tour. And so I brought a tour group from New York City, 50-some people. Okay, so I say to everyone on the bus, okay, now, we are going back down here to the festival, and there's food down there. But I just discovered that the elders in the community are having fish fry to raise money to protect, which was a property where they went to school. My mom and those went to school. So now, which one y'all want? Y'all want the home-cooked food with the fish fry that we eat, or y'all want to wait till y'all get to the downtown where the little festival is staged for y'all tourists? Which one y'all want to do? I mean, you can do both. Everybody's like, fish fry, fish fry. I was like, okay. We stopped at the fish fry. So, brother's from Jersey. He gets the fish. He's eating the fish. Elder says, is it good? He said, oh, do you have hot sauce? She said, ah. He said, you got some hot sauce? It's fresh. He said, oh yes, it's fresh, it's fresh. She said, it's fresh? He said, yes, it's fresh, it's fresh. I'm saying, no, I am here now laughing so hard I can't breathe because I'm realizing these two twins are not meeting. So now the elder is running around, they're trying to find, they got the ketchup, they ain't got no hot sauce. And they said, well, why? They said, look, it's fresh. They said, oh God, and now I can't breathe, I can't tell you so. He keeps on saying it. I'm like, just stop, and he said, what? I said, stop saying it's fresh. He said, well, on the bus, you told us that you only eat the seafood when you're home because it's still breathing. I said, I understand. It's still breathing when it gets to my house. I know who caught it. I know where they caught it. That's different, though. I said, that fresh in English is not what she's asking you. What she's saying is it's tasteless, and you just keep saying yes. Okay. So herein lies a problem with other people having our information or thinking they do, and then putting it through their cultural lens. It gets misinterpreted and will mean the exact opposite and be insulting to that community. So that's why I started the Gullah Geechee Sustainability Think Tank, which combines academic researchers with the indigenous leaders of the Gullah Geechee Nation, who are the traditions keepers, not just people who've been born there. Because we got a lot of people who are assimilated. Just because you were born there, you don't keep the traditions, okay? And so these are traditionalists who we now vet this, literally. Some of these people have left crying. Some of these people who came in with their research never came back. Some of them hate my guts to this day, but I'm good. Because what I'm not gonna let, what you ain't gonna do, all right, what you ain't gonna do is insult my community further than it already has been insulted. And I'm not gonna allow you to mislead politicians who are usually the ones who end up getting this material from these academic centers. Somebody in their office who's an aide or a page will go find it, quote it, is incorrect anyway, and then say this is what that community needs. When the community says that's the opposite of what we need or want here, that would only benefit people outside our community. So you have to be willing to take the hits. Because in academia, they're going to say, oh, so now you're letting your subjects rule your research and all this kind of stuff. No, it's a matter of respect. And if you can't have respect, you don't build a relationship. And if you can't build a relationship with a community, you will not be successful. And you might think you're getting away with it in early college. Later in life, it's going to catch up to you. So again, that's a personal decision. But that's what I'm saying to you. You let them know up front, whoever your folks are in your university that you got to go through the little hierarchy with, you let them know that there are going to be meetings and gatherings that I have to come to this community and discuss. And if this community says that I can come to a function and you can't, then I'm going. Okay, but you can't come. Because I've had, and some of y'all might be in the room, that have tried to approach me because they sent you to work with the Gullah Geechee, but it was some other group really behind the work you were doing. And those people wanted you to get in the door and bring them in with you, and I said, who you? You can't come in here, we don't know this other one. And that's a security measure as well. Okay, so you got to think about it, but be ready, because they're going to push at you and say, well, that's not the standard. Okay, but in what world? Because in the indigenous world, this is the standard. You go to the leaders, the spiritual leaders of that community, and then they will give the blessing or deny it, and then you go forward. But they say, no, leave that subject and go to something else. Don't try to do it behind their back. Yeah, all right? So definitely, that's might be more than what you asked for, but I hope you learned from it. The dancer right here. Oh, all right, so we come up in it. Gotcha.
Little question. You were talking about your project with the salt marshes?
Yes, the South Atlantic Salt Marsh Initiative.
Yes, I'm from Louisiana, so salt marshes and swamps and things like that is really important to us. So I was just wondering if you could just speak a little bit more about that project.
Absolutely. So the South Atlantic Salt Marsh Initiative, you can find more about our plan that we call the SASME plan at marshforward.org, marshforward.org. And it started up because Pew and a government alphabet soup called Surpass got together to say that they need to protect the Southeast. And they wanted to do what they did with longleaf pine and then move into the salt marsh now. So I was asked for what? A conversation. And that conversation led to me being part of the leadership of the South Atlantic Salt Marsh Initiative. And if you follow me at Gullah Geechee on IG, at Gullah Geechee on Twitter, and Gullah is G-U-L-L-A-H, Geechee is G-E-E-C-H-E-E, ain't a no I in Geechee for the week, okay? All right, so Gullah Geechee, if you follow us on either one of those means of social media, or follow GullahGeecheeNation.com, which is also our blog, there'll be a lot more details because I'm getting ready to actually drop a whole video in the next couple of days in conjunction with BIMS Week. So I have a few little videos that I'm dropping all week to do hashtag BIMS Week, black folks doing this stuff. Hashtag BIMS Week, black folks doing this stuff. That should be the new hashtag, black folks doing this stuff. So I told all of them we're going to be doing that. And it's interesting you asked about SASME because I just finished writing up a report before I came over here today. So yeah, hope y'all will join us. We need a lot more hands out there in the salt marsh. Hi.
Hello. Okay. My name is Nayasia.
Peace, Nayasia.
I'm from Philadelphia.
Philly.
Yeah. And myself, both of my parents, flex, are descendants of enslaved peoples.
Okay.
My work is, so I'm from Philly. My work is in Oregon.
Oregon, okay.
On crabs in the Pacific.
Gotcha.
And ocean acidification, right?
Yes.
About as far away from Philadelphia as you can get without swimming to another country.
Yeah, right.
You talked about working in service of the Black community.
Yes.
And it made me ponder, right? Because for myself, and I think a lot of people, our day jobs might not have necessarily parallels. In fact, it might feel like it works against us. Like my family won't even step into the ocean.
Oh yeah.
There's fears. I mean, like I went to the pool with my grandma for the first time she went into the pool in 40 years. How do we manage, these two aspects of our lives that seem unmarriageable while still working in service of our community?
Absolutely. First of all, let me tell you, Portland, Oregon, I have love for because one of the first tours that I went on with my group, the Gullah Connection, they sold out a 2-week show months before we ever got to Portland, Oregon, and added a 3rd week to that show. So, and Powell's Books is one of my favorite places in Portland, Oregon. All right? So as soon as you said Oregon, I was like, yes, let's talk, yes. I feel good about that. And so when you say, how do we balance this? What you have to first recognize is when you sit with your elders, learn why they fear certain things. There's the historic legacy that is part of collective consciousness about the enslavement vessel and about the ocean. And so that is there even sometimes when they can't articulate it, and they are concerned that if they step into that water, that's the realm they're in, is that middle passage realm, and they might not come out. Okay, so that is subliminally in there many times for Black people. And so we have to remember that when we now say, well, okay, well, why don't we come to the water? My mother will go to the beach, but my mother to this day be threatening me, talking about, I hope you went down there in any deeper than your knee. Well, really my ankle, she won't, but that night going further than my knee. So when I let her know that I was in up to here, she's looking like, ooh, girl, if I could just, ooh, So she's always trying to prevent us, so we've always gone into the water. We didn't have that, but she was closer to those elders and those ancestors who were just one generation out of enslavement, and sometimes was the generation that became free. So their thoughts aligned that way, but yet this is a person that would get in a boat. This is a person that would go get crabs. This is a person, she know all the seafood work. I'm like, it's a little strange. So you will bog in the mud but you don't want me going to ocean, right? And so they see it as too vast of a thing. But slowly over time, as you share your work with them in a way that's really understandable and fun, you'll see they'll get over it. Because the same mother that used to say, I ain't going on a cruise, you can't drink all that water that's out there, when she heard us saying we were taking a delegation to the Bahamas, and they were greeting me in the Bahamas, all the ministries, and I said, okay, we're getting our tickets. She said, well, how much is this cruise? I was like, why you need to know more? And she was like, oh, because I'm going too. I said, the person who can't drink all that water, then you going? And I didn't believe it until she was on board, and she had a great time. So it takes time, but the balance is navigating that realm of your family, your support group, and slowly bringing in the information from the world that you work in for your paycheck, right? And then guess what? Ultimately, you are still serving the Black community because your family looks like me and you. So all your knowledge you share with them betters the family. You see, it's that slow rise. It's not that wave. Okay? Yeah, it's that slow rise. So yeah, just keep that balance there. Yeah. Brother Dancer.
Nice to meet you again.
Nice to meet you again.
But my name is Khalil, so it's really a pleasure to be here and be in your presence, because I can tell it's a really strong presence, so I appreciate that. But you spoke about the waters.
Yes.
And me, I'm Haitian and Jamaican, which is kind of a weird
Mahayard, I'm 80. Wow. Power.
Yeah.
I was sitting next to South Africa. Oh my goodness.
So it might be a weird combination.
No, it ain't.
But
It's a powerful combination.
It's really important to me because you spoke about those waters, because
Yes.
both of those two places deal with those a lot.
Absolutely.
Sometimes in bad ways, but also
Very good
that's what they
ways.
live with. Yeah.
Yes.
So our waters are being polluted and contaminated as well.
Yep.
Actually, my field of research that I want to get into is plastic pollution.
Oh, okay.
Microplastics in the ocean. Everybody knows about the Pacific Ocean. But yeah, so I just wanted to know, like, what are your thoughts on those things?
Yeah.
And then, like, what are some research solutions that you can share with us?
Excellent. I'm glad you said that, because it brings us back to the sister here. So with ocean acidification, there is the International Ocean Acidification Network. And if you all hit me up in the DMs and all that later on or whatever, or just direct email me, I'll give out my email in a minute. I will send you the link to the Gullah Geechee Ocean Action Plan. Okay? That is part of that network of global plans that are out there to combat ocean acidification. So when she said that, that's why I was like, yes. People don't normally smile on ocean acidification, but I did, just because I was like, yes, I work on this all the time, yes, right? And so definitely there are a number of things. I mean, we have, as you might have heard when they announced me, when Sister Lynette announced me, she mentioned Gullah Geechee C and me. The C stands for Saving Environmental Actions, and the me stands for Marine Environment. So this is a program that I have in the Gullah Geechee Nation, and part of that is working against plastics. These single-use plastics, we eliminated them throughout the coast of South Carolina. We're trying to get Georgia and North Carolina to join in, because they act like they got a different coast or something. You don't, okay? So we need to educate more and do a lot more outreach in that regard. So that's just one of many, many things, including greening Gullah Geechee communities and all of these that we're working on. So again, if you follow me this week, you'll see some of these things that link up, and there might be some opportunities we can join forces. This would be great. And we have a Haitian monument in Savannah, Georgia, too. So you guys come see that, bring your family. Yes.
We're gonna do one more, and just because we are close to time and I know you're hungry.
Yeah.
But please, well, you have to leave out right after.
Yeah, and I have books and things right out there, but don't play this game like, oh, I'm gonna get my food, then I'm gonna hit Queen Quet up, because Queen Quet gonna be hitting the road. So if you plan to get a shirt, a button, a patch, or anything, soon as I get to that table, be ready, have some money ready, cash in your card, I take Zelle, I take cash, yeah. They got the SKUs right there. Let's just get that done, and then I'm gonna get out of here, because I got a plane to catch in the morning, so I 12. Remember, at Gullah Geechee on Twitter, at Gullah Geechee on Instagram, and it's at Gullah Geechee Nation on TikTok. Oh yeah, we're Gullah Geechee Nation on Facebook, the Gullah Geechee Nation Facebook fan page. Vote me to tell me how exact what I had said to each one of them was. None of these people knew that each other was writing me. They just wanted to let me know they had felt that healing. So that last question goes back to the first question. I only know that definitely that blessing of being a healer is real because people have said so. And that's where you get that. You don't get it out of a book. You get it in that circle of power and healing energy with the right people, not those who are putting on a show. And there's too much of that nowadays because they want to bilk you out of some money. They tell you come and bring $50 first and I do the reading. That's a sign right there. Because the reading would tell them whether they should be charging you anything or not. So how they tell you bring $50, then they'll do the reading. See, it's a lot of stuff in there. So be careful about these books because people have on the internet even one about Gullah Geechee herbs that's inaccurate. But she wrote it as a thesis and published it. But we didn't vet it. In fact, people lied to her so she wouldn't publish our actual herbs. So there's a lot of things I would say be careful about and go to the living communities, especially those who live the tradition, and then learn about the culture. And I think you are in a blessed space by starting off here with Black and Marine Science and lighting this fire where those herbs can be burnt and that sage can be burnt and we can cleanse the space of all that and we can bring in the new and be refreshed with that libation of love. So Dr. Moore, the whole BIMS team, Q, all y'all that be emailing me all the time, Jermaine, Lynette, all y'all that I'm used to seeing the Brady Bunch box, I love y'all. Get some more dances in for me at the ball and whatnot, and I will be definitely praying for all of you and all of y'all. And I pray y'all will come in March, or April 3rd through the 7th, to the Gullah Geechee Nation, to the Coastal Cultures Conference, so that we can do this all over again and whatnot on the Sea Islands. A peace, love, and blessings to y'all. Hold on, just a little while longer. Hold on, just a little while longer. Hold on, just a little while longer. Everything gonna be alright. Wanna chill and fight on. Just a little while longer. Fight on. Just a little while longer. Fight on. Just a little while longer. Everything might be alright. Wanna have a pray on. Just a little while longer. Pray on. Just a little while longer. Pray on. Just a little while longer. Everything might be alright. Gullah Geechee's everything might be alright. Ben's family, everything might be alright. God bless you.
What a powerful, powerful way to start a month